Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. This is my ranking for every episode of Black Mirror Season 6. So quick disclaimer, this video will have spoilers for Season 6 of Black Mirror, so if you have not seen the season, go watch it and then come back. And I also want to let you guys know that I have not actually seen the previous seasons of Black Mirror. I think I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes. But yeah, so this is my first time watching a full season. I knew it was anthology, so I could just go jump straight in. But yeah, so let's just get straight into it. Coming in at number 5, we have Maisie Day, which is the worst episode of Black Mirror Season 6 in my opinion. Now, it stars Zazie Beetz as Bo and Clara Rugard as Maisie Day, and it basically follows a member of the paparazzi who is looking to get the shot in order to get some money, and it also follows Maisie Day, who gets involved in a hit and run and is trying to avoid publicity while she deals with the consequences of that. And while I want to say, I didn't hate this episode, I would even go as far as to say I liked it, you know? I didn't hate it, but I did... I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. You know, I liked it. All right, I'll say that. So obviously, Zazie Beetz was great. She's very. I love Zazie Beetz. In everything she's in, I pretty much have not seen something in her that she's done that I don't like. Right. So she's definitely not a negative about this episode. She was the best thing about this episode, I think. But yeah, it felt really short. And it didn't feel like, you know, while there were things that I liked about it, it just didn't feel as engaging. I wasn't that, like, invested, you know? The plot didn't seem to grab me straight away. Like, yeah, it was a hit and run, but it just didn't grab me, and I didn't get the appeal until the very, very end. Which, the end was great, I want to say. I really enjoyed the end of it, like the last 15 minutes. But yeah, I really liked also how it showed the good and bad sides of paparazzi, where, like, there are some members who are just disgusting, you know, shouting out disgusting things and trying to get pictures up, you know, celebrity skirts. But then there's also the side of, you know, she's just trying to get some money, she's just trying to, you know, pay her rent, and she's trying to feed herself, you know, well, not her family in this case, but, you know, for a lot of cases, they're just trying to feed their families. So, it does sort of show both sides of the paparazzi, how there is good side, well, there's the humanity side, and then there's the, obviously, disgusting side, right? So I did enjoy that. But let's just talk about that twist at the end. I tell you, I not in a million years would I have guessed that twist. Maisie Day is a werewolf. Like, I understand there was sort of hints where she, like, tore up that, the doctor's, it was the producer's house, right? She tore up the producer's house, but it's like, maybe she was on drugs or something, I don't know. But yeah, that twist was just insane, like, she's a werewolf. I never would have guessed that, and especially based on what I know about Black Mirror. I thought Black Mirror was supposed to be about, like, you know, technology and, like, dystopian worlds where, you know, technology is taking over or something like that. It always has something to do with tech, in my experience with it. I've only seen a few episodes, but I did not expect it to go supernatural. I enjoyed the end of it. I just didn't feel engaged with the characters. I didn't feel engaged with the story until the very end, so I felt like it dragged, even though it was quite a short episode, you know? But yeah, that end was really, really great, where, you know, the werewolf was chasing them, and it sort of, I was like, I would like a whole movie of just that, right? Like a werewolf. We don't have a modern day werewolf movie, right? So it kind of made me want that. But at the same time, the story surrounding it wasn't that engaging to me. But anyway, Zazie Beetz was great. But yeah, episode 4, Maisie Day, was the worst episode of Black Mirror Season 6 for me. So moving on. Coming in at number 4th place is episode 5, Demon 79. Now, I liked it, you know, I don't really have anything that negative to say about this episode. The only thing I would say is that in comparison to the other ones, it just wasn't as entertaining and wasn't as, you know, like, shocking as the other ones. You know, Black Mirror always ends, this season and the previous episodes that I have seen, it always ends in, like, something shocking, right? And while this episode did, I think in comparison to the other ones, or the other ones, you know, except for Maisie Day, it just didn't grab me, you know? It didn't have my, like, full, not attention, but full, like, you know, I wasn't that emotionally invested in the characters. Well, I thought Nita was, like, she was good as a protagonist, and I really thought the demon kind of carried the episode. He was very charismatic and very just fun to watch. I found the premise very, very interesting, and again, the thing is, I would like to see, like, a full, fleshed out movie of this, you know? It feels like something that really annoys me is that it's short. It's like an hour long. I understand, like, an hour and 15 minutes, but it doesn't feel like a movie. It sort of feels like a I don't know. It just I would like a movie of this premise because the premise is really good. It just didn't grab me. You know, I didn't feel that invested in Nita as a character. Well, I understood, like they set her up. You know, she does have these urges where she wants to choke out these creeps in the store she works at, and she wants to kill her. You know, her co-worker. They set that up really well, but it just I don't know. It didn't. I don't know, man. I couldn't grapple with her character, you know? Well, she was fine, and she was a good protagonist. I just didn't feel like I connected with her, you know? But still, the premise was really interesting. I thought it was a very, very cool premise, and I'd love to see a movie of it. You know, you got to commit these terrible acts in order to prevent disaster. And I was thinking the whole time, is this disaster real? Even though we did see the actual form of the demon, I was thinking, is it actually going to happen, or is this just like a metaphor for like paranoia or whatever? But yeah, I did actually, one character I really did like was he was like a detective, right? And he had a really cool line where she was trying to kill like the whatever, he was running for governor or like mayor or whatever. She was trying to kill him, and then she asked the detective, "Are you a good person?" He says, "I don't know." I just, you know, he's like, "I don't know, love." But then he said something after. I really grappled with that. You know, it felt real, and it felt like something I could grab onto as like an emotional hook, sort of. But yeah, overall, I did enjoy the episode. I thought the demon was very charismatic. I thought the end was quite good, actually. I really did like the end where he sort of asked her to come with him. I really did like that, and they become friends. That is something I really liked. So yeah, this episode was good, just didn't grab me as much as the others did. Coming in, starting with the top 3, we have Beyond the Sea. Now, this was really, really good. Now, I see a lot of people putting this as their number ones. It didn't quite get there for me, but I still thoroughly enjoyed this episode and thought it was really, really great. It stars Aaron Paul and Josh Hartnett and Kate Mara as Cliff, David, and Lana, respectively. And basically, the basic premise of it, I'm just going to give you some background, even though you've probably already seen it if you're watching this video. The basic premise is these 2 astronauts are up in space, and they have replicas of their bodies that they can mentally connect with as a way to live their life down on Earth while simultaneously being up in space. So that is the basic premise of it, which is a very, very interesting high concept premise, which again, I would love to see a full movie out of. I would love to see a series out of this. This something that's really disappointing me with Black Mirror, is that we're getting these little shorts in place of where I would love to see a series of this concept, you know? Kind of missed opportunity, because now nobody can really make a series about this, because, Black Mirror's already done that. But yeah, this episode was great. I thought every actor did a terrific job. It starts off with a fucking tragedy, man. I mean, that moment where David's family gets killed, I didn't expect it, you know? Like, it's not... I don't know, man. When stuff like that happens in movies and shows, like something so tragic, you just don't ever expect it's going to happen, you know? Because you're so used to things having a happy ending and things getting worked out. When you have to watch a man watch his family get murdered in front of him, it's just gut-wrenching. But yeah, so I really did sympathize with him throughout the majority of the episode until the end, where he goes really unhinged, which I'll talk about. And so, yeah, I really did sympathize with him, and I thought that was tragic. But yeah, this episode was great. Aaron Paul did a fantastic job as Cliff. I think, look, I hate to say this, but in Breaking Bad, Jesse Pinkman kind of annoyed me. And I know that's a problem. I know everybody loves Jesse Pinkman. But I thought Aaron Paul in this, he's a lot better, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, as like an older character, you know? He plays this role very, very well. And I'd love to see him in more stuff, you know? Especially because he was so great in this. Kate Mara was also really, really good. I love the way she played off those moments where she had to act with the same actor, but it was a different person, sort of, with Aaron Paul and Cliff and David's personalities. She had to act differently around them. That was really cool. She did a great job with that. But yeah, I did not expect that twist at the end. I'm just going to jump right to that. I thought what was going to happen was that David was going to lock Cliff out of the airlock in space, get him stuck in space, and then take over his life in his body. That's what I thought was going to happen. And it was so tense when he, you know, got him to go out there. I was like, how are you not seeing this, Cliff? How are you not seeing what is about to happen? He's about to lock you out. I mean, after all the stuff that happened with him cheating with your wife, I mean, like, come on, you got to be a bit more, you got to be a bit, have more critical thinking skills, you know? But, yeah, so, but it turns out he was right, and he did not lock him out. But what he did was he took over his body while he was out there, and he killed his fucking family, so they're in the same boat. And it reminds me of that quote where it's like, the drowning man will always try and drag someone down with him. And I think with the title being Beyond the Sea, I'm going to have to assume that that was implied. That's what they were going for. And if that's true, I think that's very, very smart and that's very clever of them. But if it's not, you know, it was still a great episode. But yeah, man, just wow, the tension when it was, you know, toward the end bit where he was with Lana, and or when David was with Lana, and he was asking if he can go down there to finish his painting, and it was just there was so much tension in this episode, and that's what I thought made it so great, is that the tension was done really well. But I also sympathized with Josh's character David, you know, so this was a really great episode. Again, I would love to see this concept as a series. That's sort of the thing about it. But yeah, this was a great episode. Every actor did a great job. I'm just upset that Rory Culkin wasn't in it more. He was just in the start. I really wish he was in this show more, or in this episode more, because he's a great actor. But anyway, this was a great episode. Let's move on. Coming in at second place is Lock Henry. This episode was incredible, you know, it really, really was. A lot of people are saying this is the worst episode. I have no idea what they're talking about. It follows a young couple who travel to a Scottish town where the boyfriend Davis is from, and they decide to make a documentary about this guy and his little eggshells, but then they find themselves unraveled in making another documentary about a true crime event that happened in that town that Davis's father was actually involved with. So yeah, this episode was really, really good. I found myself so unraveled with the mystery. I thought the twist was crazy, and I really did feel for these characters and really grappled onto them. I thought Pia, whoever the actress is that plays Pia, I'm not sure of her name, but she did such a great job. And oh my god, I really, really felt when she died, though her death was a little bit unsatisfying, but I guess it's sort of meant to be shocking. But yeah, her death was so crazy. I mean, she just escaped and she tripped and hit her head, and that's it. I mean, I've seen that happen before in movies and shows where a character just has like a really insane, untimely death. But that was so tragic, and I just felt terrible for her. But yeah, so the twist is basically that Davis's mother and father, who is making the documentary with his girlfriend, Davis's mother and father were actually involved with the true crime event that actually happened in that town. And oh my god, that footage that we saw that was like hidden on the mother's fake TV show like VHS tapes was so disturbing, with that mask. And when we first saw that mask in the start of the episode, it was hanging on the wall, Pia was looking at it. I was like, that's going to come back. That has to be something. I just did not expect it was going to be that. I thought the mother the whole time, I thought she was weird, but I kind of just thought it was like she was desperate for her son to stay. Like, she seemed like she missed her son, and that she just like wanted him home, and she didn't really like the girlfriend because she was like a symbol of him leaving. But I was completely wrong with that. Oh my god, it was insane. It was so crazy. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought the mystery was done really, really well, and I also like the commentary that they have on true crime documentaries and true crime like TV shows in and of itself. And that, you know, a lot of the time these true crime documentaries don't have a lot of you know, awareness of the actual victims of the situations, and they just want to, you know, make a profit off of it. But with this one, it was sort of, well, with Davis and Pia's documentary, it was sort of a personal touch because the guy making it was directly, or not, or sort of indirectly involved with it. But yeah, this episode was great. I loved it. I loved the end of it. I loved the twist. It was terrific. Well done to the guys behind this. This episode was terrific. I enjoyed it. So yeah, let's move on to number 1. Now, my personal favourite episode of Black Mirror Season 6 was episode 1, Joan is Awful. It stars Annie Murphy and Salma Hayek as Joan and Salma Hayek herself. And basically, the basic plot of it is that it's a sort of a commentary on, like, it was very, very relevant now because it's sort of a commentary on AI. And AI is writing scripts, and AI is taking over people's jobs, and, you know, everything is automated now, and stuff like that, right? So it's a very, very relevant fucking concept, like very relevant, especially with the writer strike going on. Everybody talking about AI, you know, writing scripts and taking jobs and stuff like that. So it's very, very relevant. But yeah, this episode was terrific, and it was so funny as well. Like, it was so funny watching Annie Murphy and Salma Hayek interact together. They are so good together. I would love to see them in like a movie together, like a full-on movie together. I would love that. They were so charismatic. Salma Hayek was so funny. She is actually a really funny actress, and I would love to see her do a lot more comedy. But yeah, this episode was terrific. I loved the concept. I loved watching Joan go insane, watching herself over and over again. And I thought they explained it really well to make it sort of make sense. It's that, like, your phone is always listening. And, it's this quantum computer, which is a thing, but nowhere near on the level that it is in this show. Quantum computers are real. Is making, the show as it goes. And, it's sort of making everything as it hears it going on. And then it releases it the next day. So, the twist at the end, though, was so insane. And I did not see it coming. That they themselves are in a show about the real Joan, and they are not the real Joan. She is Annie Murphy Joan, and then, it's very meta watching, Annie Murphy's Joan look at Annie Murphy, and then have Michael Cera say, and Michael Cera is in this, by the way, now, then have Michael Cera say, you're Annie Murphy playing Joan, and then watch Annie Murphy pretend to freak out from Joan. It's very meta. It's very, I got confused at some points, but yeah, it was very, very good, and that twist was so unexpected. I did not see it coming that they themselves are a computer-generated life, basically. And so, yeah, I thought Salma Hayek and Annie Murphy were just so good together. They really did carry this episode, even though the concept and plot itself was really, really good too. I loved seeing Michael Cera pop in there as well. But yeah, I thought this episode was just terrific. I thought it's so timely, it's so relevant with everything that's going on. I found all the characters so charismatic and so fun to watch. I found the plot enjoyable and engaging, and this wasn't a dark episode. This wasn't a terrifying episode. It was more funny and was a great way to start off the season with. Again, this is all coming from someone who hasn't seen all episodes of Black Mirror. So yeah, but I just thought this season was really, really good. Joan is Awful was the best episode in my opinion, but yeah, that's it for my ranking of every episode of Black Mirror Season 6. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know your rankings. Did you enjoy this season? Did you not? If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Turn on post notifications. Go check out all my other videos. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.